I'm Dick Brennan in for Christine Johnson.
And I'm Jessica Moore. We begin tonight with Hurricane Erin barreling down on the East Coast, threatening dangerous surf, coastal flooding, and strong winds.
NASA video from the International Space Station shows Hurricane Erin churning off the Atlantic, giving us a stunning look at the storm's size and power. In North Carolina's Outer Banks, mandatory evacuations are underway tonight. We've seen dozens of water rescues at beaches, despite the warnings to stay out of the water.
Similar precautions are being taken 600 miles north, right here in the tri-state area. We are already seeing trouble along our coastlines. Beaches closed, erosion underway, and dangerous rip currents pushing people out of the water. We have team coverage tonight. Rob Marciano is in the Outer Banks tracking the storm's impact. Vanessa Murdock is here in the city where beaches are closed. Christine Sloan is live in Seabright, New Jersey, where flooding is a big concern. But let's begin with Lonnie Quinn in our virtual studio. And Lonnie, we just got an update on Erin's path.
You got it. I've got the 5 o'clock update. I'll share it with you in just 2 seconds. Look, we have a healthy storm out there, but we know it's going to be coastal effects that the eastern seaboard is going to be dealing with. But for just a quick moment, if we can applaud science and the National Hurricane Center, they have been on top of this. Look how far back they were projecting it's going to shoot that area between the United States coastline and Bermuda. And sure enough, that's exactly what it is forecast to do as of right now. Like I said, pretty healthy storm. It's a little bit ragged in terms of ingesting some dry air, but it's forecast to change as we look ahead, and I think it's going to get stronger. So Category 2 as of right now. We have winds that have remained unchanged since the 11 p.m. update, even the 5 a.m. update. So they're still blowing at 110-mile-per-hour winds. It's now moving due north. For the first time in its existence, there's no westerly component at all. So it's not moving towards land, it's moving due north, and eventually it will be making that big curve out to sea. Here's the latest track, but notice forecast to get stronger for tomorrow. Now we're talking a Category 3 as it makes its closest pass to the Outer Banks, maybe 115-mile-per-hour winds. But it's not a Cat 5. It's not a Cat 4. You know, it's dropped down in strength. As it loses strength, storms expand. It's getting wider now. So what does that mean? It means it's churning up more ocean. It's a bigger storm. I want to show you something here. Let's pull up the next map here. All right, I want to get a little bit wider still. Here's your picture, all right? Maybe some of those outer bands now, getting close to the Outer Banks, but some outflow getting close to, say, Cape May or so. The front that is putting some bad weather in our area will push this out to sea. We could have some heavy downpours out there tonight, but look at the mass, at the cloud cover. I mean, that's almost 950 miles. All right, I got to just show you quickly here what's going on outside, because when you look at the live picture here, and this is all compliments of EarthCam, you're looking down the Jersey Shore, starting to get some big waves out there. We've got Christine Sloan right now at Seaside Heights, I believe. That's where you are, Christine, correct? And what are you finding out there?
Hey, Lonnie, I'm in Seabright, and we've seen some big waves, but as you said, these waves are going to get even bigger come tomorrow. In some Jersey Shore communities, they could be as high as 15 feet. It's a very serious concern for this barrier peninsula. There is no swimming in the ocean, and people are planning for possible flooding.
Rough surf prompting Seabright to place double red flags along the beach. No swimmers allowed in the water, but we found plenty of people coming by to look at the waves.
They're really big. They're insane.
Conditions expected to worsen Thursday with up to 9-foot swells. It's a surfer's dream.
It's bigger than what we get around here. Definitely nothing I want to get in the water with, though.
Seabright's chief lifeguard tells me he's been watching the ocean take over the sand.
How much have you seen, like, the water sort of move in?
I've seen it change in the past 2 days, like I was telling you before, as the most I've seen this summer. We had the stands about 15 feet closer just 2 days ago. We had to move them back about 20 feet just because the water line is coming so high.
Seabright sits in between the ocean and two rivers, and because of that, residents always prepare for flooding.
You have that northeast wind, which is blowing now. It comes up in the streets.
But new projects along the Shrewsbury River since Superstorm Sandy, making many, including this business owner, feel safe.
How much has changed since Sandy?
Well, in the past year and a half, they've improved the bulkheads in the back, so hopefully we won't have any river rising coming through.
But she's got flood and sandbags on hand just in case water breaches metal bulks along the ocean, another barrier protecting Chris Kaiser's home.
Prior to Sandy, there were large boulders, if you will, but they weren't cemented together. Post Sandy, they cemented all the stones and they built this. So there's a really nice barrier between the ocean and our homes.
We are are back live in Seabright, and you can see that rough surf. The winds have been picking up, and you can see the water moving closer to the sand. Now, high tide in this community within the next hour. Everyone will be watching that, and tomorrow morning's high tide, keeping their fingers crossed that they won't get any water in their community or in those side streets. We are live in Seabright, down the Jersey Shore. Christine Sloan, CBS News, New York.
All right, Christine, thank you.
And swimming is also off limits at city beaches. They're bracing for rough water. So
Vanessa Murdock joins us live from the beach at Rockaway Park. Vanessa, what do the conditions look like right now? I mean, the beach is clearly empty.
Well, Jess, yeah, not an ideal beach day, right? We are looking at persistent spitting rain, winds gusting to about 25 miles per hour. Obviously, there's been very little sunshine today. In addition, we have the incredibly rough surf, courtesy of Hurricane Erin. Now, because of the life-threatening rip currents expected here along New York City shorelines, yes, this is the first day New York City beaches are closed to swimming, but still you can see those lifeguards are on duty to ensure everyone's safety.
Rain drowns out the sound of waves at least 6 feet high, hurling themselves at the shore as lifeguards keep watch over an empty Rockaway Beach at Beach 116.
If you want to swim, check out our pools.
A makeshift tent and rain gear employed to keep them somewhat dry on this drenching day. The unfortunate weather, actually quite fortunate for guards on duty. There's nobody around to warn out of the water.
As of right now, until further notice, we are still going to open on Friday, but it depends on the weather.
Rockaway lifeguard Romeo Ortiz says the few who've shown up today have been cooperative when asked to stay out of the water. Thursday, same drill. Try to step in and you'll be asked to step out.
Obviously, today is not pretty, but tomorrow, as we've been talking about all week, will be the worst of what Erin delivers here to our shorelines. We're talking about waves growing as high as 13 feet. Winds gusting about 20 miles per hour beyond where they are right now, which is about up to 45 miles per hour possible. So, of course, we're worried about the shoreline, but we're also worried about coastal flooding, especially during tomorrow night's high tide cycle. That's when we could see moderate coastal flooding along New York City shorelines, and that would mean about 2.5 feet of water over land in those low-lying areas. We're live from Rockaway Beach tonight. Vanessa Murdock, CBS News, New York.
13-foot waves.
Incredible.
Yeah, we will pass on that. Thank you, Jess.
To the Outer Banks in North Carolina now, where people are preparing as if Erin will deliver a direct hit.
Dangerous waves are slamming the coast, and lifeguards have already rescued dozens of people from rip currents. Rob Marciano joins us live from Buxton in the Outer Banks. And Rob, tell us, what are the conditions there right now?
Well, the waves and the water just keep coming in. I tell you what, the surf has been building. You can kind of see it behind me. This is a motel that's been around for 7 decades now. This is the ramp you'd go up and then park underneath your rooms there, which are elevated. Just beyond that, you can see the massive surf here that hopefully doesn't take out portions of this hotel. And the woman that owns it, 96-year-old, has been through every storm you can imagine, is really worried about this one. You can see how the water's been pouring in here, and then goes across this Highway 12, which is a main thoroughfare that connects most of the lower part of the Cape. So we're on the elbow of Cape Hatteras. Winds haven't done a whole lot today, but the surf certainly has picked up, and that's going to be our main concern here. The beaches are closed up and down this area. Not even the surfers are going in because of the strong rip tides, and it's just so rough out there. It's not fun riding. So today, it's pretty much a ghost town as far as the number of tourists that are here. They have pretty much all left and headed farther north. So I haven't seen really the Cape this like this for a storm that's not going to make landfall. It's pretty remarkable. Yeah. You mentioned waves. I heard Vanessa say waves. One of the buoys offshore, Jessica, is measuring 30-foot waves right now. So those will be propagating inland overnight tonight, and a lot of this area is going to be inundated.
That's incredible. Rob, I've been to the Outer Banks many times. Those are some tough folks out there, but we have heard evacuation orders. Are the residents and the business owners listening?
Yeah, the business owners aren't all that thrilled with it, honestly, because this is one of their busiest weeks of the year towards the end of summer. So the tourists have had when the first tourists that came in like last Sunday that could rent a house for a week, they had to immediately leave on Monday. So they weren't happy. The business owners weren't happy, but they all understand what the issue is. And as you know, this area can be cut off from the mainland in a hurry. People could be stuck down here for days, if not longer, if the storm gets as bad as what many people think.
All right, Rob Marciano live in the Outer Banks. Rob, thank you for keeping us up to date there.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
You got it.
And signs of erosion on Long Island. This is video from Lashley Beach in West Hampton. If you know it, Dune Road, it floods fast. Well, coming up at 5:30, Long Island reporter Jennifer McLogan shows us the efforts there to protect that coastline. And stay with us for continuing coverage as we track Erin. For the latest warnings, watches, and alerts from the First Alert Weather Team, head over to CBSNewYork.com.